Hi, good evening. This is Karthikeya from What the Article. Please press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to never miss an update from us. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Our guest for today is Bhanu Wadhawan, a photographer and founder of Bhanu Wadhawan Photography. Let's start the podcast with him. Hi, Bhanu, how are you doing?
Hi, Hi, Karthikeya. How are you?
I'm doing
I'm good.
very
I'm
well.
good. Thank you.
So, my first question to you was what was the thought behind starting Bhanu Wadhawan Photography and what are the services that you offer?
Right. So basically, for this, I'll go back a little
Sure,
bit behind. When
sure,
I started my photography, I started with commercial photography.
sure.
Mostly, it was with models and product photography and
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
So I did a 1.5 years job, and
Okay.
then I moved to my own thing.
Hmm.
So initially, I was not very, I didn't have much contacts. I wasn't a very well established photographer on those
Hmm.
days.
Hmm.
So there was some hesitation to go out and work on your own or finding clients and everything.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So so for the past so when I started doing my individual thing, so
Hmm.
from then 3 years till 3 years I did partnerships. I
Okay.
tried to work with
Okay.
different people and everything.
Sure.
So there were like a lot of partnerships, and then there were like a lot of ups and downs, different thought processes and everything happened
Yes.
and all that. But those are all experiences from which I
True.
learned a lot. There are no regrets. But
Hmm.
then down the line, today, as of now, I have understood that collaborations are a must in today's
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
You should not say that I know what I know and
Hmm.
I am the best or whatever. You
Hmm.
should try out, work with different people and
Hmm.
different companies and everything. So collaborations, I think, is the first thing.
Hmm.
So the thought behind this was that uh, I have been in this industry for the past 7 years now,
Hmm.
and I have majorly seen that people either are doing in wedding photography,
Hmm.
or people are doing just commercial photography,
Hmm.
and some are only into events. So they're like people who are into like specific genres.
Sure.
So when I started this, my idea was that I will not restrict myself to one type of photography or one genre of photography. I
Hmm.
would like to bring on the table, a complete package or a complete photography solution that, okay,
Hmm.
whatever project you have,
Hmm.
whether it be an event, whether it be a wedding, whether it be a commercial or ad making or whatever. So I was more interested and more keen into doing an all solution, bringing an all solution to the audience, to the customers.
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
was the idea behind it. And since I have started this, I have been, learning a lot rather than,
Hmm.
just doing what I know best. I have been learning into various genres of it. And I've even started for the past 1.5 years, I've even started doing videography.
Uh-huh.
So that's my current passion and current
Uh-huh.
hobby also, and passion
Uh-huh.
also. I'm pursuing that also, so I'm into videography as well now.
Uh-huh.
And so that was the basic idea behind it. Yeah,
So the
starting this.
so the two main services that you offer, if we understand correctly, is one is
Yeah,
videography and the other one is a full photography solution, right? Is that correct?
exactly,
All right.
exactly.
So is
Right.
there any formal education that you took before you started your photography career?
So yeah, so when I passed out from school, I actually joined an advertising school,
Oh,
and
okay.
I did a 3 years course into graphic designing.
Oh, amazing.
So I remember there was a mandatory 1 year course into photography. Whether you like it or not, you have to pursue it for 1 year.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And from there, I picked up my photography talent, because in our college days we used to present. There used to be an external teachers, external
Okay.
professional
Uh-huh.
mentors coming in and looking at your work, what you have
Uh-huh.
done throughout the year.
True.
So we used to get, so quarterly we used to have renowned photographers, sometimes a journalist
Uh-huh.
into journalism, sometimes into a wildlife photographer,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes
Mm-hmm.
event photographer. So they used to
Uh-huh.
come and they used to judge our work, and from
Uh-huh.
there I always used to get better reviews into my photography rather than my graphic designing. So, and
Okay.
also, so I slowly I came to understand that yes, photography is something I'm good at, and
Mm-hmm.
I also liked it very much. So
Uh-huh.
I said, okay, let's do this. I think this is a thing. And graphic designing, actually, surprisingly, graphic designing helped me a lot, because in graphic designing you learn compositions, you learn
Yeah.
contrast,
True.
you learn colors and everything.
Yeah.
So I have been applying all those basics into my photography as well.
Mhm.
So it has actually helped me a lot. Yeah.
No, I completely understand, because I also run a
Yeah.
graphic design company, right? I
Right. Right.
understand
Right.
all, and I've also done a course in photography myself, right, in my college.
Right.
So I understand composition and stuff is very, very important for a good
Very important.
photographer.
True.
So
True.
the
True.
next question is, what are the challenges you faced while setting up your own company?
Okay, so as I've told you that earlier, when I started this, I
Yes.
was into partnership with various people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I go down the memory lane, I have been a partner with somebody who was extensively and exclusively into events.
Hmm.
So from there, I learned what events are like, how you can, manage events,
Yes.
how the client dealing is,
Yeah.
and events are somewhat challenging rather than your, studio photography or studio
Hmm.
shoots and everything, because you are looking out everywhere. You are like
Yeah.
uh, alert all the time. Like, okay,
Yeah.
this is the part that this is going to happen. I need to capture it like this.
Yes.
Next, people are going to go on stage or something is happening.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
it is more like a situational thing rather than a pre-planned thing.
Hmm.
So that was a major learning for me into event photography.
Hmm.
And then I've been partners with someone who was exclusively into e-commerce photography.
Okay.
So from there I have been learning. We used to work, sometimes we used to work day and night for Mintra, Jabong, Flipkart. So
Hmm.
what we did was, clients come to us that these are our garments or these are our
Yes.
products we want to
Yes.
showcase online. We want that for our websites.
Yeah.
We want to put on online e-commerce portals, and we want to
Hmm.
sell off.
Hmm.
So how can you best bring out our products through
Uh-huh.
photography?
Uh-huh.
So from there we picked up, working with models, working with model agencies,
Yes.
working with makeup artists, and coordinators and everything. So that was a different, altogether a different experience. So how you can set your light
Yeah.
in a closed space, and how can you work and make it better every day.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
as I said that throughout these years I have been learning different genres of photography. I even it was a very short period of time that I almost 3 to 4 months I pursued wildlife photography. So
Okay.
I have gone to Jim Corbett, I've gone to Rishikesh, I've gone to Ranthambore Wildlife
Uh-huh.
Sanctuary, and
Uh-huh.
I have been to Allahabad, the Kumbh Ka Mela, and all
Okay.
that. I
Uh-huh.
mean, we have done
Yeah.
everything. So I used to, in my college days, we used to go out like 3 or 4 people used to take a trip randomly. Like suddenly we said, "Acha, yahan chalte, let's do this.
True.
Let's do wildlife photography for 3 months. Let's
Uh-huh.
just do wildlife photography, nothing else."
Mhm.
And so it came out really nice, and we held a small exhibition of our
Okay.
photography in Kalakriti in near India Gate,
Yes.
and it was a very good response. And even I have in my house also, I have big 2 3 pictures of a tiger, of a deer, and all.
Uh-huh.
So that was again a different experience. But
Yeah.
yeah, so coming down to today, I say that it is better to have knowledge of different genres of
Mhm.
photography, which makes it less challenging for you in times of like weddings have season,
Mhm.
events have a season,
Yes.
everything has a season.
Yes.
Nothing is constant.
Mhm.
So that way I would say that I'm really enjoying my career right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
to have so many genres and working with so many people right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
The next thing that I want to ask you was out of your question only. That what are the
Yeah.
tips that you can share with us for our viewers uh, to become a professional
Regarding,
photographer? Yeah.
right. So first thing is that throughout these years we have seen that people hesitate when they don't have a camera.
Mm-hmm.
So I say today, at present, the even the phone cameras are so nice
Yeah.
that you don't need to buy a very costly camera just to
Yeah.
start your photography.
Yeah.
If you want to take good pictures, and if you are interested, just take your phone, whatever you have, just take it and just start going out every day. It should be like people work out every day. It should be a routine that you just step out of your house even for 1 hour, even for 45 minutes,
Uh-huh.
just go out and start clicking pictures.
Mhm.
And I know when we were in college, our mentors told us that the best way to, hone your photography skills is
Mhm.
to go to Chandni Chowk, Chavdi Bazaar, Connaught Place, where are lots of people, lots of colors, lots of things
Yeah.
happening throughout the day.
Yeah.
You go to a place like Chandni Chowk early in the morning at 6 a.m.
Mhm.
and till stay there till 6 p.m. in the evening. You will the contrast. There's so
Yeah.
much
Yes.
difference in
Yes.
the vibe, in the
Mhm.
whatever it's happening. So
Mhm.
we always used to go for photo walks, going to Chandni Chowk and everywhere, and we used to take pictures of people. We used to
Uh-huh.
take pictures of dogs and cats and cows roaming in the lane. So our
Yeah.
wildlife photography was happening there only. Our portrait photography
Yeah.
was happening there
Yeah.
only. And then we used to, so there were like rickshaws going on, and then
Mhm.
rickshaws and two-wheelers and everything. So we tried
Mhm.
to capture, freeze those objects, freeze those
Mhm.
what do you say, the object, and have a good motion blur and all that. So the best places are Chandni Chowk and all to practice. I mean,
Mhm.
all whatever you have learned for photography and everything can be applicable there. And photography is something that comes from practice and not just theory. I
Yeah.
mean, you can watch lots of videos on YouTube and all, you can read
Mhm.
as many books as you can,
Mhm.
but until unless you step out and everyday practice,
Mhm.
you cannot know how much you know and how can you increase. So the first step is to practice as much as you can. Second tip is, I would say, to understand lighting. Lighting is a very important part of photography.
Yes.
As I said, that if you go to a spot in 6 a.m. in the morning and then you
Mhm.
go to that same spot at 6 p.m. in the evening, the lighting is totally different,
Yeah.
totally different. And the way you see things will also change.
Yes.
So that is something. So consistency is a very important thing in photography. You have to be
Yeah.
very consistent, you have to be practicing, and it's all about trial and error. I mean,
Mhm.
if you say that this photo, you just need to take a object. Supposedly you cannot go, like today people are avoiding going out.
Yes.
So even if you are at home, just take an object and try to take 10 different shots of the same object. Just
Mhm.
keep brainstorming, maybe in a natural light, maybe under a tube light, under a torch or whatever. I mean,
Mhm.
there are these are the ways you
Yeah.
can actually bring out and know how much you know, or how
Yeah.
comfortable you are with the camera.
Yes.
And I think phone cameras are very nice these days, and they even have an option of manually controlling them. What
Yeah.
type of color, what type of temperature you want a blur background or not, wide angles, and everything is there. So I mean, there's no limit. So it's
Mhm.
just practice, I would say. It's just practice.
No, also they say
Yeah,
practice makes a man perfect. So I think that's
exactly.
something that people can keep
That's
doing and just
true.
becoming perfect in their photography
Right.
skill. And
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
talked about the pandemic a little bit. How has work affected you in this pandemic?
Okay. So I would say, see, so since I've been doing weddings and events, and right
Yes.
now I don't see in the near future, they're gonna start happening much.
Yeah.
But for the last in the last 4 months, I have been doing only 4 or 5 projects, out of which there were like 3 weddings
Okay.
and 2 events.
Uh-huh.
And so everything, I believe the future is, I mean, the way we have been working is going to
Mhm.
change a lot. It
Yes.
has actually changed. So I
Mhm.
remember doing these weddings, and the team, we used to get a 10 people team. I used to take two photographers with me, two videographers.
Yes.
There used to be assistants,
Mhm.
everyone. And so we used to be a strength of 10 or 12 people at a wedding.
Yeah.
And now what we have recently done was just four of us. I mean,
Okay.
so obviously due to the restrictions and everything.
Yes.
And I think this is going to stay for a while with us. And but we have been taking precautions as
So,
the guidelines and everything. But yeah, the workflow and the events and everything is a bit slow, I
yeah.
would say. uh, I remember that the lockdown happened on 23rd March, and
Yes.
I
Agree.
had like quite a bookings in the April, May, and June months, because
Yeah.
these were the 3 months
Yeah.
which were like almost packed.
Hmm.
Even in March, we were like doing back-to-back events and everything.
Okay.
So till June, it has been a little difficult also, because sitting at home and not able to go out. As a photographer, it's very difficult to sit
Hmm.
for 4 months at home doing nothing. I mean, we are so used to going out every day and
Yeah.
hustling every day, that so
Yeah.
we found like different ways to engage ourselves.
Sure.
So yeah, so it has been slow. I would say it will stay slow for a while.
Hmm.
Probably from October we can see some pick up in the business.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what we have doing, so what we have, this was a good chance for reviewing our old work. I've been
Okay.
reviewing my old work,
Okay.
how I've been doing and what new things can be done in
Sure.
future,
Sure.
how different techniques can be applied. And I've been trying to. It has been difficult because the editors and everybody
Hmm.
has their own situations, but we have been trying to
Uh-huh.
complete our previous pending works also.
Mm.
So yeah, so that is what's happening. But
Mhm.
I would say that yes, business has been really affected some. So
Mhm.
I would say I'm very lucky that I am sitting at home and safe and everything. But
Yeah.
so like I can say for my team members that
Yeah.
they are little more hit by this thing rather than us.
Mhm.
So it is sometimes
Yeah.
it becomes really difficult to be an employer rather than an employee. When you're an
Yes.
employee, things are very easy, that you go for work and then you come back at home and then you are sorted. You don't have to think about tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
But being an employer, it is you have to see a lot of things, giving out
Yeah.
salaries,
Yes.
and keeping the morale high, and checking
Yeah.
on everyone that okay,
Yeah.
you're all good, your
Yeah.
family members are.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has been a little, mentally it has been a little more difficult rather than I
Yeah.
would say financially,
Yeah.
because then again I would say that I'm out of the few lucky ones that
Yeah.
I'm comfortable at my home and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So let's hope
Yeah.
this 2020, I guess, is just a year for survival
Yes.
altogether.
Yes.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think work will going to pick up from 2021, not
Mhm.
before that, to be very
Mhm.
honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what the thing has been for the past 4 years.
I just wanted to pick up from where you left, and you said that
Yeah,
the employee benefit from employer
yeah,
to employee. It's the same thing with us
yes,
also. Uh,
right,
it's the same thing, right? That when you see everything from an employee level, it's good. But when you become an employer, there are different facets that you have to look at, right? For me, also, I have to,
exactly,
same like you, I have to look at my people. I have to see if they are safe or not. Can they come to office or
right,
not? So I feel that's another way that you learn, right? It's another way of life that you learn. So the next
exactly,
question
exactly.
I want to ask you is, how has the journey been so far for you? And what are some interesting stories that you can share with our viewers?
Right. So I would say the journey has been really nice. I mean,
Uh-huh.
as I told you that I have been able to work
Uh-huh.
with lots and lots of people in different fields, and
Sure.
I've been always learning. So I believe that learning is a learning is the only constant in our field.
Yeah.
Uh, because you are always learning.
Yes.
If you think that you have learned it all, then I think that there's where you stop your growth.
True.
So and so I would just share. So I started my job as an e-commerce photographer.
Sure.
I then moved into events. Then I
Yeah.
moved into weddings.
Yeah.
For the past 1 year, I would like to share that since I have started doing videos also, I've been doing music videos with like
Oh,
artists
okay.
uh, of Delhi.
Okay.
So that's a very very different experience. uh,
Must be
it's
fun
very
as well.
challenging. It is very
Yeah.
fun. It is very, you become very, I become very nervous also, like there's a lot of things happening at the time.
Yes.
So the one thing, very important thing, what I've learned is that you can be a photographer, you can be a videographer or whatever you want, but you should be knowing all the aspects of
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're doing. I have been sitting. We used to sit with our editors for like 8 hours,
Yeah.
just looking at them how they work,
Mm-hmm.
because an editor is also someone who is making your work better actually.
Mhm.
whatever best you are bringing, whatever you have done, it is his job to present it in the best way.
Yeah.
So I have been also learning editing. So in these
Okay.
4 months, I have started doing photography editing. I have doing video editing as well.
Okay.
Small projects, obviously, but so I can see that how much the editors even take a pain
Yeah.
for us. You
Yes.
know, Eh, it's sometimes very difficult to bring your ideas into their head.
Hmm.
So I have learned a lot. I mean, the experience has been very nice throughout these years. And one thing is that I started my photography with Canon. So I remember that
Okay.
it was a very cheap, it's a very normal camera. It was like 13,000-14,000 rupees camera.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've been upgrading equipments, learning about different technologies.
Sure.
So yeah, that's also a part of our field. Until
Yeah.
unless you're updated with the technologies and the
Yeah.
ways the things are changing, I
Yeah.
think that also keeps you from growing. So now I've switched to Sony also. I have a
Okay.
Canon also. I have a Sony
Okay.
also. I have different brands of lights, flashes, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Uh-huh.
yeah, so the journey is great. And I think I have been working for 7 years now, but I still somehow feel that I'm still very new into my field. I always keep that feeling in me that
Uh-huh.
I'm still learning, I'm still new, I have to learn a lot. So
Uh-huh.
that's what keeps me
Mhm.
pushing myself. And
Uh-huh.
I never say that okay yaar ye mere ko aata hai, theek hai, ye ho jayega. No, I
Uh-huh.
always, whenever there's a project, it's in the back of the mind. I always keep planning, okay, I have to give my best, I have to give my
Mhm.
best and all that. Because in our line, I say there's a lot of competition as well.
True.
People have been just buying off cameras and started working and then calling themselves a photographer
Uh-huh.
without any formal education. And so
Mhm.
that makes you feel that okay, I have given my so much time and money into learning this, and now there are people who are just
Mhm.
picking up work and giving
Uh-huh.
very cheap rates and
Uh-huh.
mediocre quality.
Uh-huh.
And so that's something it makes you feel sometimes down that okay, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what clients are looking in the market. How can clients be so
Uh-huh.
satisfied with this kind of work
Mhm.
when we are giving a lot better work in not that the price difference is not that much, but still sometimes
Yeah.
people just try to save a nickel and get
Yeah.
mediocre quality of work.
Yeah.
So these
True.
are the challenges that I've been facing. That there's a lot of competition as well,
Mm-hmm.
but I think bottom line is that if you are consistent, if you're consistent in your work, and if you're upgrading and learning every day,
Huh.
I think these challenges just they're just temporary ones. Yeah.
Some interesting stories from if you can just share with us.
Okay, interesting stories. I would say. So I tell you how I got into the wedding
Yeah. Yeah.
photography. So
Yeah.
as I told you that we used to go out for
Uh-huh.
street photography, portrait photography
Yes.
into Chandni
Yes.
Chowk, Tapri
Yeah.
Bazaar, and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So there was someone for whom I was doing commercial work,
Okay.
product photography, and
Okay.
so they ventured into weddings. I mean, they
Okay.
started their wedding business,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a wedding planning thing.
Okay.
And they said that since you have been doing photography, why don't you try a wedding
Mm-hmm.
photography as well?
Uh-huh.
I honestly told him that I have never done it. So then he
Uh-huh.
said, no, they have already booked someone. They have their own team and everything. You just come by and just take pictures and everything and see how it goes.
Okay.
And to be very honest, the client, I just gave them the work, and they just polished it a little bit because they had their own editor and all, and they gave it to the client, and the client said that we loved his work more than what the person we had hired. So
Okay.
so that was really surprising and
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
very funny also.
Yeah.
And then he said, okay dude, see this, they and the client was actually their best friend kind of thing, school
Okay.
child friend,
Okay.
school
Okay.
so they were very honest, and they said, yeah dude, this guy is good. And then he said that so he said, so I am into wedding events, let's start doing this, let's see
Sure.
how it goes. we'll start with small projects, maybe small functions and all that.
Sure.
Maybe birthday. So
Sure.
we started with birthday parties and
Okay.
anniversaries and
Okay.
this and that. And from there it has. I've never looked back. I mean, I'm still associated with them. It's been
Uh-huh.
7 years, 6 years now.
Uh-huh.
And whenever there's an event or anything, I get the first call. So yeah,
Okay.
so that was a very nice, uplifting moment. That okay, I can do wedding photography also. But obviously, then had to invest into a lot of things to get into that.
Yeah.
It's not just that you pick up your camera and just
Yeah.
reach the place and start
Mm-hmm.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that. And I remember for that wildlife photography went to
Uh-huh.
Ranthambore.
Yeah.
And I so for wildlife photography we need those very big heavy lenses,
Mm-hmm.
those are like 400 mm, 600 mm. You cannot take pictures with your own camera which you use in your commercial and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember we had saved some money and we rented those lens and cameras,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
we went off to Ranthambore. And so for 3 days we didn't find anything. Like there were no tigers, we couldn't find. And the fourth day,
Yeah.
surprisingly, we saw two tigers together. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a male tiger and a female tiger, and they were like over top of a hill kind of thing, and there were like a lot of bushes. So we were not able to take pictures.
Uh,
So what happened? Like I asked. So we were on a truck kind of thing, and
okay.
I asked my friend that okay, I'm going to lean down. You just two people just hold me from my shirt and pant. I'm
Yeah.
going to take pictures anyhow. I'm not going empty-handed for
Okay.
sure. So I remember like I was literally more than halfway down the truck and they were like holding me with my legs and everything, and I took those pictures and they came out really beautiful. So
Yeah.
that was again a very thrilling experience in wildlife photography.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was like a Paisa Vasool trip for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was another experience, very nice experience for me.
Yeah, I can agree with you because I've been to Ranthambore twice and I've not seen a tiger. So yeah.
Right, but
So
it's a very nice place.
yeah, it's
It's a
a
very nice
brilliant
place.
place to go to. Yeah.
It's a very calming
Yeah. It is.
place. And
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
go in the right season, obviously you'll
Yes.
find a lot of other
Yeah.
animals, if not
Yeah.
tiger. But yeah.
Yeah. So the last question, which I want to
Yeah.
ask you is that what advice would you give to people who want to take up photography as a profession?
Okay. uh, I would say that don't think that you need expensive equipments or anything to work to start with. As I said, you can
Mm-hmm.
start with your cameras and all.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it is better to be associated with someone
Mm-hmm.
rather than starting on. You can start on your own.
Mm-hmm.
There are lots of videos, tutorials and everything
Mm-hmm.
online. So just pick up the basic things what you can.
Mm-hmm.
And you can internship with someone, or you can associate with someone into
Mm-hmm.
whatever kind of field you like. So these days people are really willing to have interns
Yeah.
and
Okay.
assistants and all that. I remember that when I started, people like they said, nahi, if you want to work with us you have to pay this much and
Mm-hmm.
this and that, because people are like, why to share our knowledge? They were like more
Sure. Sure.
such kind of people were there who didn't want to share their knowledge. But I think
Sure.
there is no point in keeping all your knowledge within yourself. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
is better to share and bring out better photographers rather than not
Yeah.
share them and just have mediocre kind of people out there and just
Yes.
doing aimlessly working around.
Mm-hmm.
So nowadays there are lots of event companies, there are
Mm-hmm.
lots of wedding planners,
Mm-hmm.
there are lots of studios all around I say Delhi and Gurgaon as well, who are
Mm-hmm.
willing to take people as interns, and
Mm-hmm.
they are willing to teach you. So I think if you know, if you, first thing is to find out what genre of photography you're more interested in. Because sometimes what happens is like people start doing photography, and over the time they say, nahi yaar, ye nahi ho raha mujhse, or this is too
Mm-hmm.
tough, or I have lost interest and all that.
Uh-huh.
But if you are serious about it, just try to find out
Mm-hmm.
what genre of photography is that you want to go
Mm-hmm.
ahead with.
Mm-hmm.
Once you are clear in that okay, I want to do into events, or I want to be a wedding photographer, I want to be a journalism
Uh-huh.
journalism photographer, then try to find out people who are associated or who are working in that,
Mhm.
and try to approach them with your work.
Mhm.
I have seen people, it's better to go to someone with your, maybe your best 10 pictures or 20 pictures, and just tell them that this is what I have been doing,
Yes.
this is what I have been experimenting.
Mhm.
And if you find that this is even remotely good, then please give me a chance, and let's see how I can learn from you and all.
Yes.
So, and people, and I say that people should always aim in a long term approach in everything.
Mhm.
If you go as an intern to someone, and if you learn from that person, people just learn and then they just leave. I
Mhm.
think you should stay there for a while. Probably you can get a job there,
Mhm.
or probably you can learn more than what you
Mhm.
think you have learned.
Mhm.
So associating, collaborating, and helping each other out. I mean,
Mhm.
I have been guiding a lot of people, whoever come. I mean, I
Mhm.
am always open to that. I say,
Yeah.
I get messages कि आप please मुझे रख लो काम पे. मैंने कहा यार काम पे I am no one who can keep as
Mhm.
an employee. I would rather say that come along, try your hand whatever you're doing, and I will review for you. That's the least I can do. I can
Yeah.
review for you and give you tips and everything.
Yes.
But I think the best tip I would say is that keep practicing. Just step out of your house, because you cannot do this sitting at your home, sitting on a chair
Mhm.
and all that. This
Mhm.
is not a 9 to 5 job. This
True.
is
True.
photography is like 24/7 thing.
Yes.
Whatever you find good, whatever you think is beautiful, just take
Mhm.
a picture of it,
Mhm.
and keep taking pictures of the same thing
Mhm.
for a month, maybe a week or 10 days, a month, and you will find yourself improving every day.
Mhm.
Because you will keep experimenting. You will say, nahi yaar, this angle I've already taken, let's try something else. Keep trying,
True.
keep trying, keep trying,
True.
and you will definitely increase your skills and everything. And
Mhm.
try to, so on Instagram, so everything is like, the social media is very strong right now,
Yes, it
and
is.
everything is online.
Yeah.
uh, we are sitting talking online.
Yes, we
So I would say that try to follow people who are experts in these type of photography, whatever genre you like. Just
do.
try to find out, Google it, that who are the best photographers in this field. Follow them on Instagram. Try
Mhm.
to replicate their work. If not,
Mhm.
at least take tips, understand their work.
Mhm.
Keep researching
Yeah.
that what is so once you start researching and everything, you understand that. See, in a like I've for an example, in a
Yes.
wedding, your focus is mostly the bride and the groom.
Yes.
So you need to understand that how to make them look better than what they actually are. I mean, what angles
Yeah.
will make their portraits come out much better and everything. So I would say that, even I follow a lot of people who are into weddings,
Mhm.
and they are big shots into weddings, and I always follow their work. So always try to
Uh,
whoever you are following, try to take their shots, try to replicate their work into your work.
mhm.
And then you will come to know that, okay, this picture was taken. So you will know the process, basically.
True. True.
People generally look at the pictures and they say, wow, this is amazing,
Uh-huh.
ये extraordinary है, ये तो मैं कर नहीं सकता.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay, he must be having a very expensive camera and lots of equipments, and that's how he got this picture.
Mhm.
So, but until unless you try, how can you be sure of that?
True.
Talking is something else, and trying to implicate and trying to replicate is very different. So
Yeah.
that's my major tip. I would say that keep doing. So even if for 4 months I have not been working, just
Mhm.
for the past
Yeah.
4 5
Yes.
projects, but
Yeah.
I have a garden, so I've been taking pictures of my flowers,
Uh-huh.
small flowers, and
Uh-huh.
and and we have been seeing some tremendous colorful birds
Uh-huh.
coming to our garden, because there was no pollution, so there were like
True.
lots of
True.
birds
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
True.
squirrels and everything
Yeah.
coming in. I was like trying to capture them the
True.
best way I can. So it is
True.
like, it's like a 24/7 thing. Whatever the moment is, whatever, if you have a camera, if you have a phone, just take a picture,
Yeah.
and try to review it.
Yes.
try to sit and just talk to yourself that okay, this is
Yeah.
this is the picture I've taken. How can I take it better? How can I make it better and all?
True.
And one more another very important tip I would like to say is that as a photographer, you should learn picture editing as well.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that you become a professional editor or you need to know a professional level of editing skills,
Mm-hmm.
but you should know your editing part as well, because
Mm-hmm.
you know how to create a picture. You know that this is the picture that I took. The idea behind the picture that
Mm-hmm.
you have taken is
Mm-hmm.
in your head and
True.
in not the editor's head. So
True.
that's what I was
Yeah.
saying, that we used to sit with our editors for six
Mm-hmm.
hours telling
Mm-hmm.
them the idea behind
Mm-hmm.
each and every shot that we have
Uh-huh.
taken, that this was the idea and this is the
Mm-hmm.
output we require. So
Mm-hmm.
I think you should know editing. You should know at least basic editing, so that when you're even taking pictures just as an hobby also, you
Yeah.
can make them better
Yeah.
in your editor. And there are lots of editing softwares available now. All are free. You can download
Yeah.
them on your phone, on your
Yeah.
laptop, and you can.
Yeah.
It just takes like 10-15 minutes to edit a picture,
Yeah.
and so that way you will start loving your work
Yeah.
basically, instead of
Yeah.
sometimes you see your picture and you say, yeah, this is not a nice picture, and your morale goes down that okay,
Yeah.
I'm not able
Yeah.
to. But once you edit them, then you come to know, okay, this is something I really like now,
Mm.
because I've edited myself. I
Yeah.
know where it was lacking as a picture.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and I'll just tell you a very funny incident.
Sure.
Since I've been working with models and everyone,
Yeah. Yeah.
so always before starting the shoot, there used to be a 1 hour session of the makeup. Obviously, it
Sure.
takes at least one
Sure.
hour for the makeup artist to
Sure. Sure.
prepare the models and all.
Sure. Sure.
So over the period, I started looking at makeup artists, how they are applying makeup and how they are
Yeah.
working and all.
Yeah.
And I remember that once what happened was that I was working at a place as a freelancer regularly,
Sure.
and our main makeup artist was not available on that day.
Sure.
But since it was a very important project, so we hired someone else,
Sure.
and so that was the first time we met that makeup artist. So she was doing the makeup and everything, and I could find out the flaws. I said,
Sure.
"Nahi, ye eyeliner aise lagna hai, and the base is not equal."
Sure.
And she was very surprised. She was laughing and she was very surprised. Even the model was very surprised that you are a photographer. You know how makeup is done. I said,
Sure.
I have been looking at makeup artists working on models for quite a time now,
Yeah.
that I know what I need.
Yeah.
So this is
True.
something that if you are a photographer, you just don't need to know just the photography. You should know
True.
the pre-process of it and the post-process
Yes.
of it as well,
Yes.
because until unless you know how the makeup is done, you can never get a good picture, because
True.
you have to guide the makeup artist that this is what I need,
Yeah.
or you have to guide the editor that this is the
Yeah.
final product that I want.
Yeah.
So I think it is very good to have uh, you know uh, pick up some skills and some knowledge of everything
True.
which is associated with your field actually.
True.
So yeah.
Thank you so much, Bhanu Wadhawan, for taking out your time and sharing such amazing story and insights with our viewers. And a big thank you to our viewers for tuning in. And don't forget to press the bell icon and subscribe to our channel. And look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, Bhanu. Take care.
Nice.
See you.
Thank you, it was a pleasure. Thank
It
you,
was a
take care.
pleasure as well.
Bye.
Thank you.